everybody out there. This is Barbara Benson. Oh, and the phone is ringing. We are a functioning shop here at A Good Yarn. I am going to, there's no one else within 30 feet of me, so I am going to take off my mask that we've been wearing in the store so that you can hear me better and so that I can talk to you. And nobody's coming anywhere near me. We are here at A Good Yarn in Sarasota, Florida, coming to you from the knitting table and to talk about some awesome stuff we have in the store for you today. Want to start while people are finding us, hello, whoever just joined, with just some basic information. We are open on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays from 12 to 4 by appointment only. A lot of the information I'm going to be talking about, we're going to direct you to our website. We've been working on very hard to keep it up to date and have lots of fun and interesting things on it. There's the store where you can buy yarn, and almost all of the things I'm going to show you today are up on it already. If you don't see something I've talked about up, we are in the process of getting it up. And you can just call, like someone just did, on the phone and talk to us, and we can put it together for you. Also, you'll find the way to digitally reserve an appointment to come shop in person. You just make an appointment and then you come in. We are requiring masks in the store, and if you don't have one, we can provide it. You can also schedule virtual help. As with when you would come into the store before, if your help takes 15 minutes or less, you can schedule a free virtual help appointment via Zoom or FaceTime or something. And then there are also half-hour and 1 hour increments for a fee. So again, you can find that online on our website. We are also continuing our educational endeavors because we love taking classes and learning new things here at A Good Yarn. I personally have been teaching 1 hour classes from 4 to 5 every Tuesday night, and they are fun, just enough. 1 hour is just enough, so we're not asking you to focus for too long, but you can learn something new. Yesterday we did tips and tricks for working with variegated yarn, and that was super fun. Hi Judy. And I enjoyed having everyone in the class, and actually we're going to talk about something that would have been the class is going to be very useful for. My upcoming classes in the coming weeks, next week we're going to have pom-poms, making a pom-pom. I love pom-poms. Next week, the week after that, we're going to be doing cast-ons, so you can learn and talk about cast-ons and learn a few new ones, and that's going to be lots of fun. Following cast-ons, we're going to do bind-offs, learn some stretchy bind-offs, maybe some non-stretchy bind-offs, and have fun with learning those and add to your repertoire. And then we're going to do what is probably everyone's favorite part of knitting, weaving in ends. So yeah, we're gonna have a class on weaving in ends. I know almost nobody likes doing it, but it's something you gotta do, and you gotta do it well, because it's super annoying when that woven in end decides to make a guest appearance when you don't want it. So those are classes, 1 hour classes, and then very exciting, you're hearing this here first. It's not up on the website yet, but it will be this evening. On July 18th and the 20th, we're going to have a guest instructor, Tanis Gray, teaching Fair Isle. The pattern is included in the class, and this is what you are going to be knitting in that class. It is the 18th and the 25th, you said. Or did I get that wrong?
No, you got it.
Okay, so it's a two-part class, one on the 18th and one on the 25th. And you'll be learning, and even if you already know how to do Fair Isle or stranded knitting, my understanding is you will learn something from this class, because Tanis has some amazing techniques and she is a great teacher. So if you want to make this, which is awesome, sign up for the class. If you can't see them, I don't weave them. You, Susan, are living on the edge. Not something I would do. That is awesome. So, I think that is all of the business that I have as far as those kinds of things. Now, we got some super fun stuff. I want to start with, I already teased it a little, for 4th of July, our own Catherine, who is an amazing dyer, has dyed an exclusive 4th of July yarn. This is called Apollo, and the colorway is Rocket Pop. It is a sparkle yarn that is 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and 5% lurex, and that is what gives you the sparkle, and you can knit your own fireworks. Isn't that amazing? Is red, white, and blue, and then there's a little bit of pink where it bleeds into the white. This light blue is absolutely gorgeous. Hi Darlene. Ooh, there's a little button that I can say wave. Boop. I pushed a button. Isn't this gorgeous? Let's see, what is it's a fingering weight yarn, and we have 440 yards in 100 grams. So that's what we've got here. It is absolutely gorgeous. Because it's got the 20% nylon in it, it'll be fantastic for socks. They'll wear really well. It is obviously very variegated, so it's going to be a whole lot of fun. If you took my variegated class, you have tips on what you need to look for in a pattern, something that's got a lot of slip stitches, something that's got a lot of movement. I pulled out, this is my Every Which Way shawl, which is designed to work with heavily variegated yarns. It's got lace in it, but the lace is very linear, and you can see the lace is still there and it drapes beautifully, but there's enough fabric to let that variegation show through. And I think that this yarn would be amazing in this shawl if you want a red, white, and blue shawl. And this pattern, this is the 3-panel version. There's also instructions to make just a traditional top-down triangle. So it's a very flexible pattern, very flexible on yardage. Put him back. It's a knit till you run out of yarn kind of pattern. So that is Kitty Bee Rocket Pop on Apollo, only available at A Good Yarn, and it is super fun. You got to get your knit on. Then we also have another exclusive. This, look at this. So this is 2 skeins that have been wound together. I'm gonna open it up. I'm probably gonna get somebody mad, but I want you to see. So this is actually 2 different skeins of yarn. This is our Purl Diver Club, already went out, and now it's available to the public. You've got a skein of this gorgeous mohair, absolutely beautiful, and then a skein of the fingering weight yarn that has, here. This is like a big puzzle. It's an octopus. It's the gray and white, and then the mohair together. Okay, so the shawl. So that shawl is right at a little over 500 yards. But again, you can make it as big or as small as you want. It is once you get the setup done, it's like a 4-row repeat, and you just knit until you run out of yarn. So if you only have a 440, you just stop at 440 if you want it bigger. So with this is 440. If you want it that size or bigger, you're gonna need 2 skeins, but you can totally do it with 1 skein, no problem. But so we've got this, and this is part of our Purl Diver Club. And what we do with Purl Diver is the owner's husband is a diver and a photographer. So he goes diving in awesome places and takes photographs, and then we have dyers dye to that photograph. So here is the photograph for that yarn. It's these crazy little things. They're juvenile striped catfish. Aren't they funny? And so what you can do is look at the colors in the catfish, and that is what inspired this yarn. and he dove in Lembah, Indonesia, and found this school of juvenile striped catfish. Came like a cloud out of the blue, eel-like body. It's really cool. So what happens is when you get this yarn, you get a postcard that explains the picture. And if you're a member of the club, you also get a pattern. The pattern that we sent out this month with this shipment is Shelly Anderson's Tokini. Here, let me pull it out, the shiny, shiny thing. Hi, Julie. Here we go. And so this makes use of mohair and the fingering weight. And you can see how it stripes. Absolutely beautiful. So this is the pattern that we recommend for this yarn. But of course, you can use it for something else if that's what you would like to do. And let me get the details on this. So it's the Gasparilla is 75% extra fine merino and 25% silk. It is so gorgeous. And that's 440 yards. And then the mohair is called Sugarloaf, and it is 27% Super Kid mohair and 28% silk, 459 yards. So it's got a lot of, both of them have silk in it, mohair. It's just absolutely gorgeous. And so that is, if you want this, you need to ask for the Gasparilla Sugarloaf, the newest Purl Diver yarn. Okay, I'm going to set that aside. Let's look at some notions. We have some new needles in, and we're really excited about them. If you like tiny needles, little small needles, looky here. So these are the Addi Easy Knit Rockets, okay? And this is the 10-inch. If you like to knit things in the round in very small circumferences, this is something you might want to look into. A lot of people really love these, but what is really specific about the Easy Knit Rocket is, look here. Crazy! So one end of your needle has a longer shaft, and it has a pointy tip. The other end is shorter and has a blunter tip. Because when you're knitting in the round, you know, it's the right hand needle that's always doing the inserting and picking up. So this is a very versatile needle, because if you're working with yarn that needs a pointy needle and you're doing lace or trying to do something super pointy, you can cast on so that the pointy end is in your right hand. If you're working with a yarn that splits or needs a blunter tip, you just cast on so the shorter end is in your right hand. So when you're knitting, you're only inserting with that blunt end. So instead of having to have a set of pointy needles and a set of blunter needles for what you need, all the printing I show us is backwards. I don't know what would be causing that. That's super weird. I'm afraid I'll have to look into that. I don't think I can troubleshoot that right now. But I will do my best to figure out why it's doing it for next time. I don't know why it's flipping it like that. I'll look into it. But, so I'll read you everything, okay? These are the Skacel Addi Easy Knit Rockets. This is a 10-inch size 1. I believe we have them down to 0s and up to 8s. So that is a really cool, if you like knitting in the round, little, we are good to go. Super cool. Okay. We have some Katrinkles. Katrinkles is a wonderful independent business person who does these really super fun notions. And these are our new ones. These are the, here we go. Look at these stitch markers. They're so fun. And they have little houses, And on the back, they say things like stay home. Well, they all say stay home. And these are the safe at home stitch markers. And they are fantastic. They are the removable, easy for me to say, y'all. Removable stitch markers, which means that they have this little clippy guy that you can put them on and take them off, but they also, you can use them to slide along. They are also fixed. So these are great stitch markers. We love her stuff. It's all that wood burning stuff, which is really, really cool. And I grabbed, we have a couple more. Hello, Buffalo! Hi, Kathleen! So glad you could join us. Okay, I'm gonna set these aside. Then we have these. It's not gonna come out of the bag nicely. These have the state of Florida on it. So just in case you're in Buffalo and you miss Florida, you can have this little reminder of Florida in your knitting. So this is the same style, and they're wooden, and they're great. And then I pulled this one out because I was just looking at the Katrinkles stuff. This is a Good Yarn. See, it says a Good Yarn, and yeah, I can see it's backwards. I don't know how to fix that. It says a Good Yarn right ways, I promise. It is also a needle sizer, and it's got a little measuring bit, and it's a flip-flop. So that's fun to remind you of a good yarn in Florida. And then we've got one more. Susan just showed me this morning. I am totally in love with it. And I just, if y'all don't buy them all up, I'm probably gonna get one. It is a zipper bag, right? And you're like, and it's cotton, and it is fantastic. This is gonna be backwards, as you said, but it is the Kitchener stitch. So it's got this great illustration on it, and then it has instructions on how to do the Kitchener stitch. It says setup, purlwise through the first stitch in front, leave on. Knitwise through first stitch in back, leave on. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, front stitch knitwise slip off, next front stitch purlwise leave on, back stitch purlwise slip off, next back stitch knitwise leave on. Repeat steps 1 through 4 until all stitches are secured. And let me tell you, whenever I do Kitchener, I have to look this up. And I'm always, when I'm doing it, chanting knitwise off, purlwise on, back. I don't know if you ever do Kitchener, but I have to have the instructions in front of me every single time. It is something that just my brain does not click in on. Hey Sue, Bel Air Beach. I'm gonna have to look that one up. I'm not familiar with it. Welcome, Elizabeth. So this is from Haiku. This is a great Kitchener stitch bag. It's wonderful for notions. It's nice and stiff. It's not gonna, I really like canvas like this, especially if you use pointy needles like me. You're not gonna get anything poking through. So this is a great bag just to have on its own, or the whole bag in bag thing. So stick the bag in another bag so that you can keep all your stuff in one place. Hello, Ohio. Glad you joined us, Elizabeth. So the Kitchener stitch bag, super cool. Okay, let's see here. What have I got? Oh, you know what we're gonna do? In the thing, it's such a great bag. I'm so excited when Susan showed it to me. I was like, that is a great bag. I need it so bad. So I promised in the little description, we have a sale to announce. Susan decided that we are going to start having a featured fiber focus every month, where we're gonna select one of our yarn lines to put on sale. And this month it is Brooklyn Tweed. All of our Brooklyn Tweed yarns are going to be on sale for 25% off. We are working on getting them up online, and we're going to have a list of colors. It's usually best to go to the Brooklyn Tweed website to get really good true to color pictures of the yarn colors. And we have 3 bases that I'm going to show you. A bag for make one left and make one right. That is a brilliant idea. We need a bag that has like all the instructions on it. Or maybe a shirt that has it written upside down, so when you look down, you can read it off the front of your shirt. Okay, that might just be silly. So we have, let's start with Arbor. Arbor is a DK weight yarn. It is a plied yarn. It's got a nice ply, a good bounce. Oh, Wisconsin, welcome Joan. And it is 100% American Targhee wool. It is DK weight. No, I thought it was worsted. It's DK. I picked up the wrong thing. DK weight, 145 yards. And what is the weight? It doesn't say the weight. I'm probably a 50-gram skein, 145 yards. And it says it's sourced in Montana and South Dakota, spun in Springvale, Maine, and dyed in Saco, Maine, and Philadelphia, PA. So it is 100% American-made yarn. It comes in a lot of beautiful colors. This is Viridian. We have plenty of this, enough for you to make a DK weight sweater. Yes, ma'am? Oh! I will show you this in just a minute. This is Peary. Peary is fingering weight. It is 100% American merino wool, sourced from Utah and Nevada, spun in Springvale, Maine, and dyed in Saco, Maine, or Saco, Maine. I know I am probably pronouncing that. Hello, Susan from Orlando. And this is 210 yards, so again, it's a 50-gram skein. And this is Butte. Gorgeous, gorgeous red. We have a bunch of colors of this. And then we have Veil. Veil is a lace weight yarn. Oh, and the Peary is plied. The Veil is plied. It is a lace weight yarn, and this is Rambouillet wool. And it is 450 yards to a skein. So it's a 50-gram skein, 50-ish grammage. Sourced in Wyoming, spun in Springvale, Maine, and dyed in Saco, Maine. This color is arabesque. So these are all made in the United States yarns out of very special wools. So it's Rambouillet, Targhee, and merino. It's really cool to have these single sheet yarns they just have really wonderful bounce and really cool attributes. Oh, Susan, you weren't from Orlando. It says Odessa. I just saw the O. Springville, Maine. Very cool. So, the Brooklyn Tweed is on sale. Check it out. 25% off. Oh, speaking of sales, want to mention that all of our Shibui yarns that were on sale are now $10 a ball. Can you believe that? So if you want to stock up on Shibui, now is the time. Hit the website and look for $10 a ball on Shibui. It's just crazy talk. So now what Susan just grabbed for me, we have from Katrinkles. Says a good yarn on one side, and it has instructions on make one left, make one right. Yes, the Brooklyn Tweed is not up yet. You can call in and get it. We wanted to special announce it here before it's even up or have been sent out in the newsletter. So since you're watching here, you get a heads up. So we have the make one right, and you know what we could do? Because it is the chain, we can take this, stick it through here. Ha ha ha! Call me the knitting MacGyver. So now we have our Kitchener, and it's got the tag on it with make one right. We also have these wooden ones that have instructions. This is make one right and make one left. We have one that has German short rows on it, and I think we even have one that has Kitchener, but I love that this is the Kitchener here, and we can put this on it, and then you are good to go. Susan is brilliant. Okay, now, okay, I did that. I'm looking at all the stuff I have. Now, it is time to play with a bunch of yarn. So there's this super popular pattern out there that literally thousands of people have knit by Andrea Mowry, and it is called the Weekender. It is a very simple, it's a beginner-friendly pattern. The instructions are very well written. It is knit from the bottom up in the round in reverse stockinette. But because nobody wants to do that much purling, the instructions, you're essentially knitting it inside out, which is super cool. And so then you knit it in the round, like up to the armpits, and then you split and work the back and front separately, normal. And then it's just got these great shoulder details. It's got this faux seam down the front just to lend it some structure. And it is a great sweater. Tons of people are making it. Rosemary, you're not late. We're still talking. We're gonna have a lot of fun yarn. So the original Weekender, super popular and was designed to use worsted weight yarn. And we've got a couple of suggestions. If you want to make the Weekender, we would like to suggest this is Woolstock Worsted from Blue Sky Fibers. It is an amazing, oh my goodness, so squishy, and it comes in a lot of beautiful colors. I absolutely adore it. It is 100% Highland wool. It's got a great structure. Oh, just look how squishy it is. So we think that the Woolstock would look amazing. You should try to make a sweater. Now, here's another option, and I think for a slightly lighter weight, but still worsted heavy knit thickness, our Rowan cotton cashmere would drape beautifully, hang beautifully, have a little extra softness in it from the cashmere. Again, comes in beautiful colors. We've got tons of this. It would make a beautiful Weekender. And then these. This. So Catherine went through and picked these out for us. She is a sweater expert. We've got these two colors pulled. Look at this. This is Miss Bab's Big Silk, okay? So this yarn is a worsted weight, comes in these enormous skeins. It is 60% merino wool and 40% silk. Isn't that awesome? And it is 540 yards per skein. So imagine this, right? Hey, Catherine, this in one of these two with the silk in it. Absolutely gorgeous, beautiful, amazing. I can't even, it would be great. And we have enough of these, so we're showing these to you. Again, that's the Big Silk from Miss Babs. Check online or give us a call. But the reason we're talking about this right now, because the Weekender has been out for a while, but just recently, Andrea Mowry released the Weekender Light. It is the same wonderful pattern. You can really see that front detail here, and you can see what the neck looks like. It's the same pattern, but this time it is for fingering weight yarn. And so Susan and Catherine had a blast picking out fingering weight ideas for this sweater, and I'm going to show it to all of y'all. Yes, the blend is amazing. Look at my box. We're gonna look at a lot of yarn. So for the Weekender fingering weight version, Weekender Light, let's see what we have. So we have some Kitty Bee yarn, which again is exclusive to a Good Yarn, and this is in Biscayne. It is 100% superwash merino wool, hand dyed here in Sarasota by Catherine, and this is 400 yards to 100 grams, and the color is hot silver. Look how beautiful that is. I adore grays, and Catherine does beautiful grays. They just have a lot of depth and movement to them, and this would make a great sweater to wear with absolutely anything. So that is the Biscayne. Next up, more Kitty Bee yarn. I think we have 3 Kitty Bees to choose from that we think would work great. This is an exclusive color, the Beachcomber collection. We looked at it a little bit last time, but it would work fantastic with Weekender. I just love. The gray is Biscayne, is what it said. Of course, it's backwards. You know what? Worsted versus fingering, it's just your personal preference. Do you prefer working with fingering weight or worsted yarn? I mean, the fingering is going to take a little bit longer, but it's going to be a lighter weight sweater. And what would you get more use out of? I'm answering a question right now. If you didn't see it, someone wanted to know, for a first-time knitter of a sweater, would you recommend the worsted? And it's really up to personal preference. If you like working with fingering weight yarn and you don't mind it taking a little bit longer and you want a lighter weight sweater, definitely go with the fingering weight, because that is what you're going to get more use out of. If you think of a slightly heavier sweater with the worsted weight, it's going to be knit up a little bit faster because it's a heavier, thicker needles and everything. It's just your own personal. You live in Miami, I really would go for the fingering weight one. It's going to take a little longer, but as long as you're comfortable working with smaller needles and smaller yarn, the construction isn't really any different. So either will work great. So back to, this is called Best Beach Ever, and I think this would make a beautiful lightweight weekender that you could wear with just about anything. This would be great for Miami. Actually, the next one would be even more awesome for Miami. But this again is Best Beach Ever. The yarn here is a 80% merino, 10% cashmere, and 10% nylon. That nylon's going to help it keep its shape, and the cashmere is going to bring a little bit of luxury to the party. Okay, and I think our last, yeah, cashmere. Look at this one. Again, this is the Biscayne base, so it's 100% superwash. Look at that, it is so beautiful. This is called Mabel's Rose Garden, and I'm assuming it's after the Rose Garden on Ringling's estate here in Sarasota. It is absolutely beautiful. It's got the pinks and the greens and the kind of purple, I would call it almost orchid color. Just absolutely gorgeous. And this would make a beautiful springy top for the weekender. Gosh, so pretty. Okay, now we're gonna get a little bit moodier. Love this yarn. This is Copper Corgi. This is one of our Purl Diver colors. This is Hawksbill Turtle. The picture was a super, super cool picture of a turtle. This is Savannah Sock. The dyer lives in Savannah. I think she actually recently moved to Florida, but she used to be in Savannah. This is 460 yards of 100% superwash merino, and it is an absolutely, look. I mean, how can brown be so exciting? It is so pretty. You've got these deep mossy greens and this gorgeous brown, and then these pops of this. And if you saw the picture, it looks exactly like this. You can imagine what the turtle looks like. So this would make a beautiful weekender. I'm making a big old pile here. Something a little different. So here, if you look, if you're eyeballing the Shabui sail, what you can do is hold Lunar and Pebble together, which are both thinner, and together they make a fingering weight yarn. So this would be amazing. This is, the Lunar is lace weight, and it's an extra 60% extra fine merino and 40% mulberry silk. You can see the shine that silk brings. And then the Pebble is 48% recycled silk, 36% merino, and 16% cashmere. Again, yes, that Hawksbill Turtle is a great colors for a redhead. Somebody just made that comment, and that is wonderful. So this is a light fingering, and this is a lace. Together, they're gonna make a fingering weight yarn. And look, this has these really great texture, all nubbly. This color, I believe, is, let's see here. Imperial. So this would make a beautiful, beautiful, rich weekender. Now this is a great yarn. This is Island Blend Fine from Rowan, and it is a Falkland merino wool, baby alpaca, and silk blend, which means it's gonna drape like crazy. So it's 70% wool, 15% alpaca, 15% silk. The wool and the alpaca are gonna bring an amazing warmth. So even though this one is lightweight, it is still gonna keep you warm, and because that alpaca is gonna bring that to the party. It's got a great twist, and it comes in gorgeous colors. There's a beautiful gray, there's a really cool brown, and this would make a great weekender. Ooh, we have another kitty bee. I'm so excited. I love kitty bee yarns. And this one, this is Largo. I actually just recently did this shawl out of Largo. Largo is a 50% alpaca, 25% silk, and 25% linen blend, which is a really interesting blend I've never really seen anywhere else. And it has a great fuzz to it, but that linen really lightens it up, and the silk brings an amazing sheen. And this would make the sweater very flowy and drapey, and yet still a nice warming sweater, but not like too warm. Like this isn't gonna be as warm as this, because this has the wool in it and this doesn't. But this has more alpaca in it, so it's just gonna be different. And that is something we talked about in my blocking class, is talking about different fibers and what they bring to the party. This is Largo in Kentucky Woman. I think this blue would make an amazing sweater. I think I'm using the word amazing a lot, but I just love yarn, and it's so much fun to play with. I think we just picked out a lot of kitty bee, which, don't get me wrong, I love it. Here is the beach, and again, the Beachcomber collection, and this is sea glass blue. So this is the blue that is found in the sea glass, and instead of it being variegated, it's this gorgeous, gorgeous solid blue. I mean, look at that color. I think that the people picking out this yarn were really feeling the blue. This is, the base is Sanibel, and this one is interesting because it is a single. So it is going to behave differently and drape differently, but it's still going to be beautiful. And this is 70% merino and 30% silk. Ooh, I love this silk. Look at the sheen on that. 438 yards. This, just gorgeous. This is gonna make the stitches themselves a really interesting texture because it is a single ply, and it's gonna visually make it look a little bit different. Absolutely beautiful. This color again is sea glass blue. And then for something completely different, it's the last one I have to show you. This is Ritual Dyes. They're out of Portland, Oregon, and this is 100% US grown and milled Rambouillet wool. So it's got a very different texture. It's got an amazing boing factor. It's just like, if I'm gonna try to squish it, it's like boingy, boingy, boingy. It's got a great bounce back, and Rambouillet is a very distinct texture to it that is just fantastic. I don't know if you can see, look at the shade. Ooh, you can see it's got a great texture to it. It's gonna produce a more rustic look, and it's not shiny. A lot of them I've been showing you have silk in them, so it's got a sheen. This one is a lot more matte, so it's gonna be very gorgeous and elegant. And this is the natural color, and it comes in several other really nice natural colors. So this is the Rambouillet from Ritual Dyes, and this would be gorgeous. It's just amazing how all of these different yarns could be used for the same sweater. So if you knit up this sweater, and here I'm going to show it to you again. If you knit up this sweater and you like it, right? And you like the knitting process, simply choosing a different yarn is going to really give you almost a completely different sweater, because the different yarns and the different ways they're going to play with that pattern are going to give you very different garments. Oh, thank you so much, Rosemary. Rosemary just said something very nice. So again, like I was talking about, you've got the silks that are in here, and the silks are going to add drape, and it's going to give you something that reads, if it's got that shine in a little more elegant, and it's going to fall a little more drapey, like my shirt. It's going to be floppy. Whereas this Rambouillet and these heavier, it's the same weight, but because of the structure of the fiber and the structure of the yarn, it's going to hold those stitches different, and it's going to hold up, and it's going to be a more casual look. This is going to be something that's going to be really easy to wear with like jeans and throw on and have a lot of fun in. And so playing with the different colors and the different yarns, and then like I said, the one that's a single, it's going to look very different. So you can have the one pattern, and once you're comfortable with that pattern, and if you like it and you like the way it fits your body, you can try different yarns out with it and see, and have like a whole wardrobe that they all look different, but it's the same sweater, and no one will know the difference. The name of this one is Ritual Dyes Natural and Maven. Maven is the name of the base itself. Ritual Dyes, they're from Portland, Oregon. And again, this one is the 100% US manufactured. It's really great. So squishy. Okay. Yes. Oh, Katie, you liked that sea glass? Oh my gosh, where'd it go? It is such a stunning, oh, I put it over here. This color, it's just crazy blue. Look at that. It is so amazing. And what's funny, the way it's reading on the monitor is the sun is hitting it just right. And it's that silk. That silk causes it to just absolutely shine. And the wonderful thing about these hand-dyed yarns is that even though it's a solid color, since it's hand-dyed, there are variations in the color itself, and it keeps moving. And so in the garment, it's not just going to look like a solid color. It's going to have subtle variations, and it just brings a lot more depth to your finished piece. And again, because it's a single, it's going to knit up different. When you knit a single in like a stockinette, it can actually look like it's slightly biasing, and it looks really cool. And I'd really be curious to see how it looks in all the reverse stockinette. Now the garment, the body is reverse stockinette, and the arms are in regular stockinette. So you're not knitting the arms inside out. But you can see it's super cool. I'm so glad you're enjoying it, Susan and Katie. I have fun doing this. I get to come in and play with all this amazing yarn and talk to y'all about yarn. So, you know, what better day is there than Wednesdays when I get to talk to all y'all. Let me get this, our crazy two-pointed needles, and pull this. So the kitty bee, mohair. I also think this would look amazing in my shawl Perseverance. And Perseverance calls for one skein of fingering and one skein of the mohair. So that would be, and I really think it'd look interesting in the variegated. I'd love to see it. So, okay. I think that's all I have for you today. I'm thinking that next week we're going to be talking about, I know, what is there not to like? I think we're going to be talking about some one skein and fast and easy projects next week. So make sure you come back next Wednesday so we can do this again and have fun. If you have any feedback, or if you particularly liked one part of this presentation, let us know, and we can keep on focusing and making sure that, you know, this is the knitting table. This is the table that we all sat at and knit together. And, you know, I want to hear what y'all like and what you want to see more of. And mostly for me, it's yarn. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, fast projects. We're gonna maybe have some bulky yarn, some small projects. It'll be great. Please join us next week, and thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us at the knitting table. And you know, come join my classes. And the classes, since it's Zoom, I actually get to talk to y'all, so that is the best. We can, the every which way, yes, we can work that out. You like talking about how yarns will react. I love talking about yarn. That is what I like to do, is talk about yarn. Yes. So Perseverance is linked someplace, but we can totally get stuff, and every which way is available, yes. So thank you so much. I'm gonna let y'all go and see you next week, okay? Bye-bye. Oh, the classes. So the classes, my classes are every Tuesday night from 4 to 5. If you would like to sign up for them, you need to go to the Good Yarn Sarasota website and click on classes, and you will see all the classes that you can sign up for. My Tuesday night classes are 1 hour long, and they are $10. So we're wanting to do something that's fun and repeatable, and that we can just, you know, have that educational without, you know, I mean, the blocking class I taught on Saturday went wonderfully, and it was a 2-hour class. And so we're keeping those on weekends where we have a little more brain power, where I have a little more brain power. But for Tuesday nights, we're sticking to an hour because it seems to be digestible and not too much for a weeknight at the end of the day. So Tuesdays from 4 to 5. I have to make my son turn off the TV. Okay. Thank you all so much, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.